Howdy, folks. I'm the Old Ranger with an exciting new story of real life in the Old West. In the year 1851, the new state of California, looking for revenue for its empty treasury, imposed a license tax of $20 a month on every foreign miner. Now, the Chinese and the Mexicans grumbled loudly, but the French in one mining camp decided on open revolt. And that's what brought about the Battle of Mokelumne Hill.
Morning. Good morning, Mr. Russo.
Bonjour.
Lieutenant Bradshaw?
We are waiting for Monique's fiancé, Paul Martin. He's buying some supplies.
I was just thinking about you. I was hoping I'd see you.
He should be out at any moment.
Is that a hint?
My father just means...
I don't know how it is in this country, Lieutenant, but in France, a young man doesn't press his attentions upon a girl who is already promised to another.
I didn't realize my attentions were unwelcome, sir.
Perhaps Monique didn't make it plain to you, but I do. In the future, please, remember.
Is that the way you want it, Monique?
Well... Papa, Lieutenant Bradshaw's just being friendly. Must you always be making issues? Can't you ever accept things as they are?
Not when they're against my principles.
Perhaps you had better go before Paul comes out.
Hey, he's hurt.
He's hurt real bad.
Get the sheriff. You need a doctor, Jed. Call Doc Stiles.
All right.
What happened?
Tried to collect the taxes.
From the Frenchies? You hear that? Those French devils are out for blood. First thing you know, none of us will be safe in the street. There's two of the parleyvours. We ought to teach them a lesson. Come on. Let's go get them.
Looks like trouble. Better get going.
What about Paul?
It's Jed Matthews. He's taken a pretty bad beating.
Come on, hey, you won't get away.
You take care of him. Looks like trouble over there.
Come on, take your filthy hands off her. Come on. Take care of this. All right, you boys, bring it up. I said bring it up.
I mean business. Next man to raise a hand ends up in a cell. Now, I understand how most of you feel, but this thing ain't gonna settle matters. Now, you two go on back up the hill. And take a message to your countrymen. Beating the tax collector half to death is just gonna bring him more trouble.
Thank you for your help.
Thank heaven you're all right.
You're quick to battle for a beautiful young woman, but you do nothing about this outrageous tax. Is not the face of justice as attractive? Ah!
This tax thing is getting out of hand. If these foreigners don't start obeying the law, we'll have to call the army.
those eyes at me, Monique!
Paul, stop! He meant no harm! Paul! Paul!
You get out of here.
Another of your exhibitions. I am well aware that you are master of the savate. Must every man in town be kicked about to be reminded of it?
Yes, if it also reminds them that you were promised to me.
Sometimes I wish I could forget it.
Do you, Monique?
Oh, Paul. Good afternoon, Lieutenant. You must forgive us for airing our personal affairs in public.
We have no reason to apologize. He has no business snooping around here in the first place.
I didn't come here to snoop. I came here to talk to you.
Please come in.
Thank you.
Please sit down, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
May I offer you a glass of wine?
Oh, no, thanks. I don't have too much time.
We were grateful for your help this morning, Lieutenant, but it did not necessitate a social call.
Well, this is not a social call, sir. People in this settlement listen to you, sir, and I'm here to ask you to stop them from any further acts of violence against our officials. That man who rode back into town today barely made it back with his life.
You are being dramatic. He was merely being taught a lesson.
Well, it's not quite that simple, my friend. That man was a representative of the government, and any attack on the government will not be tolerated.
Then let them repeal the tax. $20 a month. But that's as much as many men take out of the ground in a month.
I won't argue the point.
Because you know we are right.
There's talk in town of taking drastic measures. Now, they may send the army out here. Do you want that?
The army? Papa, did you hear?
I heard.
Let the army come. We'll show them.
As we did in France? Have you forgotten so soon?
Monique! There was a little misunderstanding with the authority. Very slight.
We sailed by the first ship.
Well, what happened in the old country is none of our business. But what you do over here is. Well, there happens to be a tax on foreign miners.
Unfair.
But nevertheless, it's a law.
And should be obeyed.
Monique, keep out of this.
I have seen enough bloodshed. I want no more.
I beg of you, sir, to use your influence with your people.
The Frenchman will never bow his neck.
I was talking to Mr. Rousseau.
Paul is right. We must resist oppression, or we become nothing more than slaves.
We are true Frenchmen.
Who have fled France. I thought our life here in America would be new and different. And now I find there is no change. Always there are rebellions. I am weary of them, and weary of the people who create them. You, forever aching for a fight. I wish you would meet someone able to give you the beating you deserve. Maybe then we would have peace.
All right, Minnie, let's sit down now. Maybe we ought to be able to talk this thing over sensibly.
Take your hands from her. You come here and preach to us. You care nothing about our cause. Your interest seems to be in Monique. I should break you in two for your audacity.
Paul.
He's right, Monique. I am interested in you, very much. But I also feel that your cause is just.
Huh?
Let him finish.
You're going about things the wrong way. You pay the tax, then you make a formal protest to the government.
Yes, after they have our money.
But they'll listen.
You have not had as much experience with governments as we have, Lieutenant.
In this country, it is different.
You said yourself everything is the same. No. We will fight to the death.
And what will that accomplish?
It will prove that we French do not joke about our love of freedom.
There's never been any question about that point. The point that I'm trying to make is...
Enough! You've said enough. I think perhaps you had better go before you end up like your friend, the tax collector.
I will do what I can to make them understand, Lieutenant.
I'm sure you will.
Bring on your army! Do not be fooled by his fine talk, Monique. He is a soldier in the uniform of our enemy.
He is an American. And so am I.
You are a foreigner. Why else is your father taxed?
True. This is our chosen country, a country we've grown to love. But they call us foreigners.
But they would not for long if we acted like Americans. If we obeyed the law. Yes, sent the government a letter.
The sound of guns will travel faster than a piece of paper. Now, do not worry, Sherry. I will let no harm come to you. I might as well be kissing an icicle. Perhaps you have fallen in love with the soldier.
Be patient with her, Paul. She's afraid, as I am.
I will inform the others about the troops. Shall we meet here tomorrow?
If it must be.
It must.
Colonel Freeman, Lieutenant Bradshaw is here, sir.
Send him in. At ease, Lieutenant. You've heard about the revolt at Mokelumne Hills? The refusal of the French to pay the foreign miners' tax?
Yes, sir.
The governor's very unhappy about the situation.
I imagine so, sir.
Looks like we've got to do something about it. I want you to take some men up there and have a showdown.
Me, sir?
Is there any reason why not, Lieutenant?
No, sir.
Lieutenant Bradshaw, I chose you especially, as I understand you've been fraternizing with these people.
Fraternizing, sir?
You know them. You're friends of the Rousseaus.
Oh, no way, sir.
Now, if you could get that old man to see the light, the rest of those people in that colony would follow him like sheep.
What about Paul Mortain?
He's a hothead. He doesn't have the confidence of the people. Forget him.
Yeah, it's not quite that easy, sir.
Lieutenant Bradshaw, I have the distinct impression that you're trying to avoid this duty.
That's not that. It's just that I feel that these people have a legitimate complaint, sir. That tax is not fair.
That's not for you to decide, or me.
Well, I'm not even sure that the state has the right to pass such a law. It's up to Washington.
Lieutenant Bradshaw, you're a soldier. And as such, it's up to you to carry out the duty that's given you, regardless of your personal opinion. You do understand, don't you, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
You will take the men to the French settlements. You will convince those people the taxes must be paid. If you have trouble convincing them, or if they show armed resistance, you will order your men to shoot. Disobeyance of this order on your part will result in your court-martial. Is that clear, Lieutenant?
Yes, sir.
Carry on.
Yes, sir.
They're coming.
And we are ready for them.
Please do not do this. Papa, I beg you.
They will dismantle our houses, take all our valuables.
What valuables? Is anything we own worth the price of a man's life?
That is enough, Monique. You are a woman, you do not understand these things.
A woman understands war even better than a man. It is she who loses her loved ones.
Do you speak of me, Monique, or of Lieutenant Bradshaw?
Victor Russo!
I'll go out and see what they want.
I'm coming with you.
No.
They will not fire on a woman.
Our friend has lost no time returning to help our cause.
I know how this must look to you, sir. Believe me, I was given a direct order by my commanding officer. If I'd have refused to obey it, I'd have had to face a court-martial.
Of course. You would prefer to fight than be disgraced. Now you know how we feel, Lieutenant Bradshaw.
I'm not here to fight you. I'm here to once more to try to persuade you to obey the law.
Backed up by your troops.
You can see we are no match for you, Lieutenant.
I disagree with you, Monique. We have many brave men who are willing to fight to defend our cause. Elliot! If it's a fight you want, let us get on with it.
Hold up! House!
I said order arms. Stand aside.
Apparently you frighten only yourself.
You really are itching for a fight, aren't you? That's a shame, though, to drag a lot of innocent people into it. What do you say that we just settle this between the two of us?
A duel?
A fist is just as logical. And the stakes will be this whole tax issue. If you beat me, then you pay no miner's tax. And if I come out on top, then you pay the tax. You make your appeal through the proper channels.
Sure.
It's very clever. Very clever indeed. Only what guarantee do we have that even if I win, we will not have to pay? You are but a lieutenant. How can you speak for your government?
Paul is right, Lieutenant. You may agree to let us alone, but tomorrow there will be other troops and another lieutenant.
All right. Now, Colonel Fremont controls the troop movements in this area, as you know. But now this situation has become so desperate that my government has decided to appoint a special agent to settle it. I was their choice. And you can take my word for it. There'll be no argument with my decision.
There. You see, Papa? It will all be fine. Except, I have never met a man who could beat Paul.
You still have not met one, Monique. I accept your proposal. We will settle this between the two of us.
It is not fair. Make him stop. Lieutenant Bradshaw knows nothing of the Savate.
What can I do? seems that Paul has finally met his match.
This is not the way a Frenchman fights for his honor.
Well, a man in love is not responsible.
Lieutenant!
Mount up.
You have won fairly, Lieutenant. We'll abide by the agreement made.
Perhaps now I can fight on your side, sir.
Thank you. A man in defeat is a pitiful thing.
I guess I just don't understand the French.
It's the same with all women the world over. She and Paul grew up together. They were betrothed before they ever left France. He needs her. She'll make a good man of him.
Did you come here to gloat?
No, I just came back to say goodbye.
Goodbye, Lieutenant.
And so the French at Mokelumne Hill paid the foreign miners' tax, a tax which was imposed by this law, passed April 13th, 1850. But it was not for long. The California legislature, as a result of general protest, repealed the foreign miners' tax with this act, passed March 14th, 1851. Bill Bradshaw was right. This was a country of law and order and equality.